Hey, Mike.
Hey, Tim.
So, what is the difference between stress management and resilience?
I think it's really important to understand the difference here. Stress management effectively means we've been impacted by a stressful situation, right? The stress has got to us, it's got inside us.
Mhm.
And therefore, we feel stressed and we want in some way to reduce or manage the stress that we have. Resilience then is different because resilience is how do we stop the stress getting inside us? How do we actually stop the bad, difficult, challenging situation from impacting us? So the skill set is actually quite different because resilience is preventative. It's preventing you from getting stressed. So that's how I see the difference between stress management techniques and
Yeah.
resilience.
And in film set number one, we were looking at some of those things that you can actually do in the moment when stress is happening. I was watching one of the Guy Ritchie Sherlock Holmes films, and there's the scene of the sniper, and he's in a very stressful situation where he has to shoot somebody, as snipers do, and he's running through the forest, and then he sits down and he breathes. He goes, and there's this breathing technique apparently. Having never picked up a gun in my whole life, I've got no idea what I'm talking about, but of slowing the heart rate down in order to de-stress yourself, in order so that you can perform properly after that. So that's a technique of dealing with the stress in the moment itself. And there are people in offices, and I've met many of them, who will literally walk away from a desk and go somewhere else and sit down and then do 10 seconds or 20 seconds of breathing before they get back into it. And I have another colleague who's got a golf course set up in the corner of the room. And when things are getting too much, he'll go over and putting green in the corner of the room. He'll go over and take a shot. Takes all of 15 to 20 seconds. And he says that while he's doing that, his full attention goes on to something else within the context of the office environment. And he uses it as a stress reduction mechanism, plus the fact that he likes it, of course. So the tools and mechanisms and ways that we can deal with it once it's there is, again, find something, start practicing, and start seeing what the effect of it is. But of course, if we can build the muscle to actually avoid it happening in the first place, that's got to be much better, right?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's important to highlight that these things are absolutely interlinked. Stress management, anger management, and resilience. You don't want to have one without the other, because of course we always have to face situations where resilience will benefit us, but avoiding stress entirely, avoiding anger entirely is a utopian idea that I think doesn't really work in real life and in real business situations as well as personal situations. So having the full skill set to deal with things is what we definitely need. I completely understand what you're saying about the hunting or the sniping, Tim. I used to play a PlayStation game called Metal Gear Solid, where you actually do have a sniper rifle and you would have to kind of slow your breathing down in the game, which would stop you from moving around because lowered your heart rate and you had a monitor and that kind of stuff. Strangely specific knowledge I have on that, but obviously also never handled a gun in my entire life. But makes a lot of sense to me. So these skills, the 20 seconds away from your desk, the putting, the breathing exercises, alongside a kind of more mindset shift towards resilience, is what's going to have the overall best impact. So, two questions for our participants to consider. The main question is, how resilient are you? How do you see yourself on this scale of resilience? And can you share any examples of where you were resilient or maybe were not able to be resilient as well?